Well, the New South Wales Police Commissioner says she may have to cancel New Year's Eve fireworks if an industrial dispute isn't resolved between the rail unions and the government. It comes as strike action resumed on New South Wales rail networks, causing chaos for commuters. For more on this rapidly evolving story, Miles Holbrook-Walk joins us. Miles, let's start with the possibility of no New Year's Eve fireworks. Why is the Police Commissioner saying that she might have to cancel them?
It's an extraordinary escalation, Ruby. We were talking about the logistics just an hour ago of the fireworks in New South Wales, particularly in Sydney and the Circular Quay and Sydney Harbour region, that are attended by so many people. And now what looked like they might be scaled back on a smaller iteration are now looking like they could be cancelled altogether. A really significant announcement that the Police Commissioner made, that of course she hasn't finalise this decision, rather that she's considering it. So why is she doing this? Well, a few reasons. One is around safety and the passage of people out of what can become a bottleneck and congested area. For those who haven't been around Circular Quay, even at the best of times, it can be quite slow going at busy events and when it's crowded. We've seen that at things like Royal Tours recently, but of course with the fireworks it's just wall to wall. People basically park up there and spend the whole day there. Of course, they all want to leave roughly at the same time, either after the first fireworks display or more often the midnight fireworks display. And if there aren't enough trains running for that moment, she says it's just not safe. Here's what she said barely an hour ago.
Each year we police New Year's Eve on the basis that 250,000 people can come into the city and then safely leave the city. Leaving the city is based on access to transport, including trains. And if trains aren't available and people can't leave the city, I have very large concerns of the risk that will create to the public, because families won't be able to get home and they'll be trapped in the city. No way out. So I haven't ruled out that I will recommend to government that we cancel the fireworks.
And these train strikes have started today, Miles. How might they be resolved?
Well, there's essentially two ways. The first one is through a collective bargaining agreement between the rail unions and the government. That looks exceedingly unlikely with the current state of play. However, the pathway through would be some sort of compromise between the union's demands for a 32% pay increase over 4 years, as well as changes to leave and superannuation entitlements, as well as hours worked. The government says it just can't afford it. Chris Minns was very forthright today and has been for months now during these negotiations, essentially making the argument that he can't afford to give this sort of pay rise to the rail union workers and not to other industries, and that by doing so it would set a precedent that the state simply can't afford. Here's what he had to say.
The government has not given in to the union's demand for the largest pay rise in the history of New South Wales, a 32% pay rise. The facts remain, we can't afford that. We don't have the money for that. So we're going to take as many action and as much action as we can to protect commuters, particularly over the Christmas and New Year period. But I can't promise that we will win those court cases. And I want to make it absolutely clear that even if we don't win in the Fair Work Commission or through the court process, I cannot be dragged back to the negotiating table and pay an exorbitant amount of money with a blank cheque.
Now, the unions have made the argument at different points, and this is not just the Rail Workers Union, I should note here, Ruby, but other unions have said, well, he gave a 41% pay increase to police, he gave another significant pay increase to paramedics before that too. Why is it now that the purse strings are being tightened? Now, the government's argued they had made savings within those departments to afford those deals, and so that they there's an argument going on there between both sides yet again over the negotiations. The other potential resolution to this is a legal challenge, very much a last-ditch legal challenge from the New South Wales government going to the Fair Work Commission, where they're going to say, on the grounds of economic harm and community safety, these strike actions need to be temporarily suspended and declared illegal by the Fair Work Commission. That would be an incredibly interesting move. It is certainly a possible one, but by no means a guarantee. So if the Fair Work Commission doesn't rule in the favour of the state government, then it really is the negotiations are the only way out for both parties here, and that seems to be something that, again, the government over and over, Ruby, is just saying they're worlds apart on the pay and conditions agreements that they're willing to go to. So that Fair Work Commission is on Monday, December 23 at 10 a.m. It will be watched very closely.
Let's hope they find a resolution so we're not stuck watching New Year's Eve fireworks reruns on telly. Miles Holbrook Walk in Sydney, thank you.